The galaxy is vast, infinite, and mapped by every known civilization, but there is a line that no map crosses. Beyond the outer rim, past countless star systems, the charts simply end. Human space. No one dares to ask why ships glide silently through familiar star lanes, scanners beeping routine data, yet always, somewhere, the readings go silent. Other species call it the veil of humanity. Curiosity has killed explorers, but still, whispers of the humans persist. On board the vessel Erindor, Commander Val stared at the edge of the galactic map. A blinking cursor hovered at the final system, a cluster of blue stars circling a solitary sun. The instruments trembled, registering something the crew couldn't comprehend. "Commander," the science officer said, voice tight. "Our sensors, they won't penetrate beyond this point. It's like reality itself resists." The words hung in the air. A view screen showed the last charted world. Beyond it, the stars were blank, as if the universe had ended. The crew shivered. Every civilization had explored to the edge of this map. None returned with answers. Val's ship drifted closer to the boundary. The void was not empty. Shadows moved in patterns that made the human eye itch to see shapes. Something watched, unseen, unmeasured. The crew whispered legends of the human worlds, untouchable, untamable. Sensors flickered and died. Communications went silent. Panic started to bubble in the bridge, but Val held the silence. He did not flinch. He had heard stories of humanity, fighters, survivors, architects of chaos and order alike. Perhaps the galaxy feared them for reason. A lone transmission finally broke through, garbled and urgent. "Turn back, or be undone," it said in a tongue no one recognized. The words were human, yet ancient. As if every human who had ever lived spoke through one voice, the first scout drone vanished as soon as it crossed the threshold. Not a scream, not a blip, just gone. The void swallowed it like it had existed only in imagination. The crew's unease became terror. Val walked to the observation deck. Below, a planet glimmered in the black, ocean shining like molten silver. Cities shimmered with light that moved like living creatures. The planet was alive, unaware from orbit. They saw structures rising higher than any known engineering could support. Human ingenuity stretched beyond logic, bending physics in quiet defiance. The humans had built a world as if to say, "This is ours, no galaxy beyond may trespass." A flicker in the sky caught the crew's eyes. Ships, unlike any the galaxy had known, moved in precise, chaotic harmony. They were fast, too fast, weaving around each other, forming shapes that made no military sense. Yet, each maneuver struck with devastating force. A broadcast interrupted the ship's silence. A human voice, calm, almost amused, yet firm. "You've come far, farther than most dare. Few ask why the map stops here. Few survive curiosity." The crew's scanner surged with data they could not process. Star charts warped and dissolved. It was not that the humans had nothing, they had everything, and nothing the galaxy had could quantify it. One officer whispered, almost in prayer, "Do they want us to leave, or to learn?" The question went unanswered. Silence itself seemed to pulse from the human world, a heartbeat of warning and power. The planet below seemed to sense the intruders. Light shifted as if acknowledging each soul on the bridge. Clouds formed over oceans with impossible precision, storms danced to invisible commands, and mountains shimmered as if breathing. Val's hand rested on the ship's console. "We came to see, and perhaps to conquer. But humans are not a people. They are an event." The words felt inadequate, yet no other could describe the feeling that gripped the crew. Suddenly, the void shimmered, and a fleet emerged, ships that reflected starlight in impossible patterns, each vessel unique, each a masterpiece of tactical chaos. They circled the Erindor, curious, cautious, but not hostile, yet the human voice returned, now closer, omnipresent, as if speaking from the stars themselves. "We do not fear you. You should fear yourselves." The meaning was clear: no species had yet survived human observation unscathed. Val made the choice. The ship slowly reversed course, retreating to the edge of the known map. They had seen enough. They had felt the weight of a civilization that no other dared to understand, and the galaxy outside seemed suddenly fragile. As they crossed back into charted space, the stars looked smaller, weaker. Human space was untouched by fear, untouched by law, and untouched by logic. A frontier not just of distance, but of warning. No1 spoke of the human worlds on the Erindor again. But the memory lingered, heavy and alive. The galaxy learned an unspoken truth: humans were not a threat, they were inevitability, and the map ended where the universe itself feared to tread, and somewhere, far beyond the edge of all knowledge, humans watched the stars. Waiting. Smiling. Silent witnesses to a galaxy that would one day learn that curiosity is deadly when it crosses into human space. Even in retreat, the Erindor crew could not shake the feeling of being observed. Every star outside human space seemed to hum, whispering warnings in frequencies their instruments could barely detect. Reports came in of systems just beyond the human border collapsing silently. Entire star clusters lost communication without warning, as if the void itself remembered the human's presence and reacted. Val studied the last readings. Distortions in space-time, gravimetric anomalies, and energy signatures unlike any known technology. The humans had rewritten the rules of physics within their sphere of influence. The science officer muttered, "It's not just a civilization, it's an ecosystem. And we're outsiders." Fear was creeping into voices once steady. Even seasoned explorers felt their resolve crumble. Below, human cities gleamed like sentient organisms. Streets twisted in patterns that seemed random but obeyed unseen logic. Buildings rose and fell in perfect cadence, reacting to unseen stimuli. A transmission came from the fleet tailing them. Another ship had crossed the boundary. Only one word returned before it went silent: wrong, then nothing. The human world emitted a soft glow, almost comforting, almost mesmerizing. But within it lay warning. Civilization here did not negotiate, it simply existed, and the galaxy was not invited. Val's crew speculated on the humans' history. Were they conquerors? Or custodians? No tales from other species could accurately describe them. Every record painted humans as simultaneously fragile and unstoppable. A sudden energy surge shook the Erindor. The sensors screamed, but the crew couldn't identify its source. Waves of invisible force rippled across the void, bending the ship's hull slightly, almost imperceptibly. The observation deck revealed a spectacle: auroras of unimaginable colors spiraled above human cities, dancing to no sun, no planet, yet perfectly synchronized with life below. The human's presence was more than physical, it was metaphysical. Ships, machines, cities, even space itself bent to their will without effort. Val realized humans had no equal in the galaxy. A senior officer asked quietly, "Why hasn't anyone challenged them?" The answer hung heavy: the galaxy feared not death, but irrelevance. Humanity did not fight, they simply existed in a way that erased threats before they could manifest. The Erindor's AI reported faint energy pulses forming geometric shapes in the void, coordinates humans didn't follow but reshaped. It was a language of power no one else could read from orbit. Human fleets moved not to attack but to test. Patterns of engagement appeared random, yet every move was calculated, every pause a message. Observation alone was enough to terrify. A holographic display of their sensors showed ghostly figures moving across the void. No ship signatures, no propulsion, yet their speed and precision defied reason. Humans controlled the very essence of space. Val felt the weight of insignificance. Every strategy, every plan, every alliance of the galaxy seemed fragile before such presence. Humans were not invincible, they were inevitability. The crew began to argue. Fear fractured them. Some suggested defiance, others retreat. Val's voice cut through, "You are witnessing the future. The question is whether you leave enlightened or broken." The human's world pulsed like a heartbeat. Light shifted in rhythm, Clouds moved with intelligence, oceans shimmered with awareness. Life here was alive in ways no one understood. A final signal arrived, clear and calm: return. Tell the galaxy what waits beyond. Curiosity is your choice, survival is ours. The voice was soft, almost maternal, but beneath it lay infinite power. The Erindor began its journey back, engines straining under the tension. Every jump through space felt watched, as if human eyes followed, unseen, yet intimate. As the ship left the edge of human space, the void resumed normality. The stars no longer whispered, the sensors returned data, yet the memory of the humans lingered. The galaxy had glimpsed a force beyond imagination. Back in charted space, every officer swore never to speak of what they saw. But deep inside, they knew the truth: humans did not conquer, they transcended. And the map ended not because of distance, but because the galaxy itself dared not cross humanity's line.